Am I the a-hole for calling the bride-to-be manipulative and awful after she treated us like servants and cash machines? A childhood friend, 32 male, decided to get married this year and has been with his significant other, 33 female, for a few years now. He changed slowly. He stopped going to soccer practice and games, only spent time at work and home, stopped seeing his family and friends, and all of us have been rather concerned about that. We talked to him and asked if everything is alright, but as he is a man, talking about his feelings and his well-being seems forced, and he normally just pushes our concerns away. We tried to meet with her as well a few times, but we could hardly get to know her. In those 4 years, even his parents only met her 3 times for less than an hour, because she is a busy person, she said. Last year, he suddenly announced that he wants to marry a significant other. They have been together for only 3 years, with the occasional breakups. After every breakup, he went back and alienated us more and more. The bride asked us some weeks ago to contribute, emphasized on perfection, dedication, and simply started to give out tasks without us even agreeing on helping out. I literally received an email from her with my tasks to complete within a deadline one day, without warning or knowing. His relatives and friends talked this over, and we agreed on helping, but it all turned out to be terrible. The wedding is over the top. She expects the groom's family to pay for everything, and even told us to chip in. A few days ago, it became ridiculously sad. I received calls from a carriage rental, a pigeon guy, and a bird rental. I didn't know this even exists. And they told me about the bride's plan to have birds placed all over, some flying through the sky while she comes in with a horse carriage. I told the groom's father about the expenses, and he simply started laughing and said that he won't pay a dime for this wedding anymore, and that they agreed on a simple wedding, not a Disney movie set. The groom's friends met for our weekly socializing and discussed what has happened, most of them being relieved and others just being happy. Suddenly, the bride came by, stormed in, and accused us of sabotaging this marriage, the wedding, and her life. After a drama class performance and lots of screaming and pretend crying, I told her that not only has she been self-centered and inconsiderate, but she's now nothing but manipulative and simply awful. I lashed out a bit about her controlling behavior regarding our groom friend, and that all of this just became ridiculous. She didn't say a word and simply left. The friend group agreed and also told the groom that they won't help anymore, if the wedding isn't reasonable, and if she doesn't start being cooperative. The groom called me up today and said I need to fix this, that I was an a-hole for being so harsh to her, and she hasn't stopped crying since then. I declined, as I think I simply told the truth. So, am I the a-hole? I wouldn't spend a nickel on that wedding, or more than 60 seconds helping out. They'll be separated again in a couple of months. Not an a-hole. On another note, why would you even want to go to the wedding of 2 awful people? Take whatever time and money you would have spent on those people, and go hang out with people who are interested in being friends. Well, one awful person, and one potentially emotionally mistreated male friend who could hopefully use this as an eye-opening experience. Agreed. Save your cash. Take him on a trip in lieu of a wedding once they break up again. Not a-hole. The groom called me up today and said I need to fix this. What you need to do to fix this mess is help him get out of this BS relationship. It's painfully obvious she's emotionally abusive. The fact that he stopped meeting you guys, his family, even his parents never saw her for more than 4 hours total in 4 years, and stopped doing what he likes, soccer I assume, is textbook behavior of victims. She, the predator, didn't want anyone to see how she was eating him away. And the fact that he's a man most certainly comes because of how she treats him, and how she would berate him, I believe. Unless he was always like this, please clarify, Opie. Is your friend that blinded by love that he has lost his common sense? His rosy glasses are showing him the crimson flags as pinkish are just flags. Save him, not the a-hole. You can't save someone who doesn't want to save themselves. Right now, it doesn't seem like the groom is ready to be saved yet. But it's always good to let him know that if anything happens and he needs out, you will be there for him, no question asked. Not the a-hole. That's totally bridezilla crap. Your friend needs to recognize who's truly right and wrong, and fix the situation before he loses all his family and friends. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for asking my wife to change the dress she was going to wear at my uncle's wedding? Basically the title, but here's some context. So my male 27 uncle got married a couple of weeks ago. He is the youngest of four and he's 4 years older than me, and for that we're super close. However, my wife has not been in good terms with my uncle's wife, but overall they're cordial with each other. 3 weeks prior to the wedding, she purchased a white dress which was similar to a wedding dress, silhouette style. I asked her if she was going to wear that at the wedding. She said no. She already had a yellow maxi dress for the wedding. I was relieved, otherwise we would have had a problem. While we were getting ready to go, she walked out the bedroom wearing the white dress I saw weeks ago. I told her to wait and asked why she was wearing the white dress and not the yellow one. She said she gave it to her sister since it's her style and couldn't say no because her sister begged her to borrow it for her trip. Explained that the white dress looked better and felt more comfortable, so no problem. I said of course we had a problem. Wearing white to a wedding when she's not the bride is a huge no. I told her I didn't want for us to cause drama and attention. But she got mad and said she's an adult and is responsible for her dress choice. I firmly told her as the argument got heated that I strongly believe her reasons to wear the white dress were because of her issues with my uncle's then soon-to-be wife. I suggested she stay at home and not attend if she can't get along with her, but she said it wasn't about that. Eventually, I asked her to change the dress and wear something else, something more appropriate. But she turned this into a huge argument about me treating her selfishly and basically choosing my uncle and his wife's feelings over hers, because I told her I don't want this to affect my relationship with my uncle. She got all stubborn and refused, saying she either keep the dress or not go. She chose to stay. I went to the wedding without her and I wasn't happy. Since then, she's been giving me the cold shoulder, saying I deprived her at being at the wedding by policing her looks and disregarding her feelings. I asked how she'd feel if someone showed up in a white dress at our wedding, for example. Would she be okay with that? I got no response, but all she says now is I chose my uncle and his wife's feelings over hers. Am I the a-hole? It's too close of a coincidence that she bought a white dress before and just had to give the yellow one away. Good for you for sticking up for your uncle and his bride. You potentially prevented a huge scene and saved family drama. If she genuinely wanted to go to the wedding and not have drama, changing would have been a simple request. I don't think you chose their feelings. You chose what was right and kind, because her choice would have had a negative impact on others. She's trying to manipulate the situation into being about her feelings, but this was a choice she made that unfortunately had consequences. That is on her. Your wife knows it was wrong. That's why she won't answer you when you remind her that she wouldn't be okay with it at her wedding. Not the whole. This. Also, I have a few questions for Opie. 1. How's your relationship with your uncle? You said he's 4 years older than you, so he's 31? 2. How is your wife's relationship with your uncle? 3. Has your uncle's wife given your wife any reason to not like her? You're not a day-hole, by the way. 1. You're correct about my uncle's age. We're very close and treat each other like friends. Mostly call him by his first name. Uncle is only in public. 2. My wife's relationship with my uncle was okay until my uncle's wife came along. The issues between my wife and my uncle's wife certainly impacted my uncle. Frankly, I see no reason why my wife would dislike my uncle's wife, and this answers the third question, I guess. Your wife is an a-hole and she knows it. She also knows that wearing white to another woman's wedding is not only wrong, but a clear attempt to stand up the bride and steal her moment. Assuming, of course, the wedding is in a culture where the bride wears a white dress and nobody else does, which I assume we're talking about here. More, your wife tried to power play and lost. That's going to be a problem for a long time because you chose your uncle's happiness over her desire to show up his wife. You absolutely did the right thing. You were not the a-hole. And you still lose, because your wife's mad and will likely never forget this. Maybe you want to consider this and think about whether this is a one-off or a deeper problem in her personality. If she's going to be like this your entire life, well, that's some thinking to do. Not the a-hole. Your wife was being unbelievably selfish. Does she really not understand how rude it is to wear white at a wedding when you're not the bride? I asked her a question about it, but did not get a response. I'm sure if someone did that at our wedding, she would have been furious. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my friend propose at my wedding? I'm 27 female. I'm getting married at the end of the month, and my childhood best friend and maid of honor, 27 female, has asked me if she can propose to her girlfriend at my wedding. She says it would be nice if she could get engaged at my wedding because she's with her girlfriend because of me and my partner, and it would be sweet to get engaged when we were celebrating our love and commitment to each other. Her girlfriend is a university friend of my partner's, and they met at our housewarming party. I told her no because it's my wedding, so she said that I was being a selfish witch and I couldn't let her have this one good thing because I always had to make myself the center of attention. I told her no again, and that if she still wanted to propose at my wedding, she better tell me now so I can get a new maid of honor and that she's uninvited from the wedding. She ended a call and we haven't spoken in nearly a month. My partner asked me if letting her propose at our wedding would be such a bad thing, and if I'm really willing to throw away a 20+ year friendship over it. Most of our mutual friends are on my side, but some of them are telling me that I should let her have this. I feel guilty because I have been the more outgoing one in our friendship, so I tend to get most of the attention from other people. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I love how she thinks you're selfish for not wanting her to propose at your wedding. Like what? I'd keep her demoted and uninvited at this point. Sad, but honestly, she doesn't sound like much of a friend. Exactly. Clearly this friend likes to deflect. Uninvite your maid of honor and choose a new one. I'm guessing your friend group are always bending to her drama. Some people don't like to rock the boat, but they're just teaching her that if she pitches a fit, she can get her way. If she does come and gets engaged, please announce your pregnancy at her wedding. Because I always had to make myself the center of attention. That's pretty normal on your wedding day though. This is the day to celebrate your love with your partnership and your union. It's selfish of her to make the day about her too. Not the a-hole. I was thinking the same thing. Like, what kind of best friend is she to turn it around on Opie and gaslight her into thinking she's the a-hole? Not the a-hole at all. And find yourself another maid of honor because she ain't it. Laughing my butt off. We have a rule. If you propose at my wedding, you're getting a bill. Meaning, if my wedding cost me $8,000, you get a note in the mail from me letting you know that you owe me $2,000. That's provided I can keep my composure during. Not the a-hole. Tell your friend to get lost. My policy has been, they pay a percentage of the bill reflective of how early they proposed, but never less than 50%. An Opie a few months ago had her brother-in-law proposed during the freaking ceremony. They would pay 100%. If you propose after the cake cutting, you might only pay 75% if I'm feeling generous. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for wearing white as maid of honor while my friend is the bride? My best friend Joy, 28 female, is getting married next year to her longtime partner. Recently, she started wedding planning and asked me, 29 female, to be her maid of honor. We have been friends for nearly 20 years, and needless to say, I was super excited. Joy started planning, and it's been incredibly stressful for her. I have tried my best to be as supportive and helpful where I can, going above and beyond. Daily discussions, fielding unwieldy family members, acting as a buffer sometimes. I am prefacing with this because the next part is frankly bonkers and I'm having trouble processing. Last Sunday, Joy and I met with some of our friends for lunch. We're all vaccinated at this point. Since it was the first time seeing friends in a while and we were going to a nice restaurant, I decided to dress up a little. It was pretty hot over the weekend, so I opted to wear an old, white linen dress to our gathering, one I have worn many times. I thought everything was totally fine, but I noticed Joy giving me strange looks at lunch and only talking in short responses with me. I brushed it off as stress, and when we got up to say goodbye, Joy left in a rush. When I got home, I had a bunch of angry texts from Joy, saying she was disappointed in me and couldn't believe I would try to dull her shine during the special time. I was confused, asked her to elaborate. Apparently, she was furious that I had dared to wear white while she was the bride-to-be. I was floored. I apologized, kind of, stating that I was sorry she was so upset, but that I wasn't sure how my wearing white to a casual friend's hangout was a slight on her being a bride, nor how it was taking attention away from her. She flipped out and called me all sorts of names and said she has no idea how she could have picked such an unsupportive and attention-grabbing maid of honor. I snapped a little and told her that while I respected she was getting married, that did not entitle her on a monopoly in the color white, and that while her wedding was the most important thing going on in her life, it was not the most important thing going on in other people's lives. Now, I am aware that a bride generally wears white to wedding-related events, and the guests should not. But this brunch was not wedding-related in the slightest. I feel especially sad since I feel that I have gone out of my way to help, and our past friendship has been very calm and loving. My friends are generally supportive of me. A few think I should have somehow had the foresight to see this. Apparently, psychic abilities are another maid of honor requirement I missed. But think I should just try to make peace since she's clearly under a lot of stress. I do feel a bit bad, especially about the comment about her wedding not being the most important thing in my life. But I'm not budging. Am I the a-hole? Okay, I read the title and thought you were talking about the wedding. And I was like, yes, duh. But a casual non-wedding related lunch? No. Not the a-hole. Not even a little. Consider not being her maid of honor. Sounds like a truly hellish experience has headed your way there. I was imagining Opie asking if it was okay to wear white, because the bride picked out white bridesmaids' dresses and was worried guests would think they are all a-holes. But no, Opie's friend is just a crazy bridezilla that thinks she now has a monopoly in the color white at any and all events until her wedding, despite said events having nothing to do with her wedding at all. I hope the bride isn't attending anyone else's wedding before hers. Not the a-hole. I'm literally a bride going to be married in 2 weeks. At my own bridal shower, a bridesmaid wore an off-white summer dress. I gave 0 Fs. She looked pretty. Your friend is being a bridezilla. Why that a bridal shower is pushing it? It's great that it didn't bother you. But for anyone reading this, just stay away from white at wedding-related events in the West. It's not worth the potential hurt and drama, and there are plenty of other colors to choose from. White is flattering for very few people anyway. Not the a-hole. So she expects for no one to be allowed to wear white around her until she gets married next year? I would buy a few white pieces just to spite her.